Manlets, invented in the early 1800s by Napoleon Bonaparte when he dominated Europe as the leader of the French Empire, doing so just to prove to his teenage crush that she fucked up by rejecting him for being 5'2". In the same way that an incel is not just a virgin, a manlet is not just a short man. The only tangible difference really is that they're angry about it. And rightly so, the world is a harsh, unforgiving place to the sexually and heightly challenged. But have no fear, there are ways to fight back against the earth, and most of them are more effective than having a short fuse, yelling at women, and getting into a fight at a bagel shop. Any manlets that may be in the crowd are definitely still wary, trying to figure out if this video is going to be me making fun of them or not. And the answer to that is yes, but only a tiny amount. I'm mostly here to help. Years ago, when I created the incel video, I established that I am in fact a supercell, giving me the authority to educate others on the incel mindset. You may be wondering if I hold the same authority on being a manlet. Well, coincidentally, I fall under the category of being king of the manlets, standing at an agonizingly close to acceptable 5'11". However, most manlets would look upon my agony and see it as a place of privilege. So be it, this crown says I'm allowed to lecture you, even if my primary shortcoming isn't the same as yours. As a lanklet, I could fix my issue if I just spent more time putting food into my mouth rather than spew bullshit out of it. But your problem's a little more difficult to tackle. Your only way to directly solve it is to turn to grave robbing, stealing people's vertebrae and femurs and humeruses in order to fuse them to your own. A technique which originates from the first manlet, Napoleon, whose name at birth was actually Napoleon Remolino. He was given the name Bonaparte due to his proclivity to raid the graveyards of recently conquered land and, well, standing at a meager 5'2" at the time of his coronation, Napoleon managed to graft enough foreign bone matter into his body to grow to a much more respectable 7'8". This process unfortunately resulted in his untimely death. None could have guessed that putting rotting bone marrow into your body would have negative effects on your health. But I digress. This is a mini-misinformed. Let's try to keep this short and sweet and move on to addressing your insecurities and stabilizing your mental health. First, we'll start with the benefits of your perceived inadequacy before moving on to addressing your concerns. What are the benefits of being short? Cheaper clothes. Due to your petite stature, the amount of fabric needed to put together clothing for you is much less, meaning you don't have to spend nearly as much on your clothing. If there's an earthquake, you're already really close to getting under the table. A lot of tall people in California wish they had that blessing. Based God forbid, if you ever end up on the wrong end of a shooting, you're a much smaller target and are less likely to suffer fatal damage. And if you curl up into a really tight fetal position, the shooter will probably just think you're a dodgeball or something. Since your head is closer to the ground, your brain's velocity relative to the earth is going to be slightly slower than a taller person's, meaning the passage of time on your brain is going to be ever so slightly faster than the taller person. Due to this, you're more likely to experience Alzheimer's earlier than your taller peers and be freed from this mortal hell sooner. Now let's close this out with addressing the two most common concerns of manlets so that you can go back out into the world with your chin held high. Well, held higher. We'll start with the big one, finding a romantic partner. Listen, friendo. Some people are gonna write you off completely because of your height. That's just the way it be on this bitch of a planet. But I think you can help your chances by making one pint-sized change. Go after tall women. Tell me this, are you trying to get women who are average to below average height? Like anywhere from 4'10" to 5'6"? If so, you got the game figured out all wrong. You need to go after women who are much taller than average. I'm talking 6'2" at least. Shorter women don't want you, cause if you two date each other, who the fuck is gonna change the light bulbs? Who's gonna get things from the top shelf? Who's gonna put things on the top shelf? Whoever's sitting shotgun is gonna have to stare at the dashboard the whole time. Or what, you're gonna put 2 booster seats in your car? That's ridiculous. The other common concern is the fear of confrontation with taller men. You think you simply have to let taller men bully you just because they're closer to the stratosphere? Fuck that. Vince Carter is 6'6" and he posterized that 7'6" dude. Now, judging by what I understand to be the general demographic of manlets, I'm gonna guess most of you don't have a 50-inch vertical. So instead of going high, you gotta go low. If some giraffe-looking motherfucker is getting a little rowdy, all you need to do is throw a quick right cross straight in front of you. Most shorter guys in a fight try to swing upwards like they're Mike Tyson. Don't do that. You got a perfectly lined up cock shot right there. Hit them with that, and then when they bend over to try to guard their pudendum from any further damage, hit them with the stone cold stunner, hold them down for the 3 count, boom, you won the fight, and now the nearest conscious person legally has to give you their belt. At the end of the day, if nothing I've said helped put your mind at ease, think on this. Out there somewhere is a man shorter than you. And he's getting some pussy. And now I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons. Abstract, Eitz Kodal, And9, Andrew, Ben, Citrusel Thrust, Cole, Colin Fire Sr., Cutright, Daz, Disco Killa, Magnum, Hank, Jeb Should Have Won, Jigmaster G, Juice Goose, Kaiser Wilhelm II, Kilogallon, LRC Napkin, Maximilian, Michael, Mohammed, My Name is Kerr, Nars Koger, Lil Gimp, Nathan, Nick, Rain, Red Green 01, Rodrigo, Scott, Seba S. Bob, Sieg Fang, Architect of Sin, Snaku Wu, and the Real Young Cashew.